So I usually do my homework. I'll find somebody who knows somebody or something. They could give me some information, like, who is it? Like, who is he? And, Frenchie, they got me the tape. They got me the tape of his mother's house, where his mom's work at. You know what I'm saying? The other cribs, the studios, stuff like that.
That's the Cali tape.
Right.
Okay.
I had all of it.
Child, 50 Cent just won't let up. He's keeping his foot pressed hard on French Montana's neck. Every time French's name pops up in the blogs, 50 is right there with...
Hi, guys.
Hi.
With another slick jab, another troll ready to light up the internet. But this time, it ain't just petty.
So this is the daughter of the ruler of Dubai, and apparently she uses controversial rule on social media.
Shade. It cracked open a way bigger, way scarier conversation. French Montana might not just be running away from industry smoke, he might be running straight into something darker. Reports are blasting everywhere that he's now engaged to a Dubai princess worth a jaw-dropping $18 billion. On the surface, it sounds like the ultimate glow-up. French Montana going from Coke Boy to international royalty, but scratch past the glitter and suddenly the fairy tale starts looking like a survival plan. See, with Diddy still tangled in federal heat and whispers that the feds are digging into everyone who was too close to those wild bad boy freak-offs, French allegedly knew he needed a plan B. And fast! And what better escape hatch than Dubai, where money stretches longer than the desert itself. But here's the catch.
And I'll tell you what I actually learned. Yeah. A friend of mine is an air hostess, and her friend was on a flight with her, and her friend was eating like a very specific diet. So apparently the thing is, it's actually a control thing. I don't know if I can speak about sheikhs.
No, speak.
So these guys actually pay these women to hold a strict diet for like 2 weeks so that they can know that they are in complete control of what that woman is putting into her body, and the girl is shit on them.
Wow.
So the girls aren't even getting shit on. The girls are shit on these guys, because then the guys feel like it's sick, like it's a control thing. So then they know, like, oh, you listened to me for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that's probably their kink, that girls actually listen to them.
No 2-minute noodles.
Paradise comes with shadows, and some of them shadows are darker than people think. Ask anyone who's really seen Dubai's underbelly. Yeah, the towers are dripping gold, the cars shine like mirrors, and the money flows like water. But the whispers? They're chilling. Princes accused of collecting pretty boys, Western celebs being flown out for exclusive parties with stories too filthy to print. These rumors didn't just appear yesterday, and now people are side-eyeing French hard, because let's keep it real. This is a man known for chasing bags, partying nonstop, and cozying up to whoever has the power. So when he suddenly locks arms with a princess and an alleged $7 billion empire behind her, folks are asking, is this love? Or the slickest escape plan hip-hop's ever seen? Safety net or golden cage? The math is adding up a little too neatly, and people aren't buying the fairy tale. It's not that folks don't believe French could have feelings for this princess. It's that survival seems like the louder motive. That's why 50 Cent's shade cuts so sharp. When he clowns French for being bought, it's not just about the ring on her finger. It's the image that French traded one powerful boss for another, moving from Diddy's grip to Dubai's royal leash. Think about it. He dodged Diddy's storm only to risk landing in a game with even higher stakes. Same rules, same submission, just a new set of powerful men with bottomless pockets and no accountability. The irony is painful. French thought Dubai would be his escape hatch, but if even half the whispers about those princes are true, then he might have leapt out of Bad Boy's fire straight into Dubai's blazing furnace. And here's the real kicker. The feds might eventually cut a deal, let things fade, or walk away. But Dubai royalty, they play for keeps. No outs, no exit. That's why this $7 billion escape plan is starting to look less like freedom and more like another shiny trap. French might have bought himself a little time, but what price is he really paying behind the scenes? Now let's rewind, because you can't clock French's move to Dubai without first understanding how he even ended up sitting at Diddy's table in the first place. French Montana didn't just pop into Bad Boy off a single track like Pop That and call it a career. Nah, the tea around that signing always smelled funky, and after all the dirt that's leaked about Diddy these past 2 years, fans are revisiting those old moves with sharper eyes. Here's what most people forget. When French was shopping for a major deal, he wasn't some random mixtape rookie. He had options. Rock Nation had interest, Rick Ross and MMG were circling, even Kanye's camp was sending signals. And yet, out of all the tables laid out for him, French pulled up a chair at Diddy's. The question is, why? Why would a man with options go running to the one label infamous for shady contracts, backroom deals, and extra requirements? Allegedly, French's deal with Bad Boy had way less to do with music and way more to do with the lifestyle that came with it. Because let's be real, Bad Boy wasn't just a label, it was a whole ecosystem. And for certain artists, the lifestyle itself was the real currency. The whispers claimed Diddy didn't just hand French a check, he opened the door to the parties, the women, the freak-offs, and the type of situations where if you played nice, you got rewarded in ways the contract didn't spell out. Fans been giving French the side-eye ever since, and for 2 reasons. First, because French himself admitted he took less money up front than what Rick Ross or even Jay could have offered. Yet somehow, he still chose Puff. Second, because folks started connecting dots. Every time French got spotted stumbling out of one of those infamous villas looking half dead, the internet clocked it instantly. Receipts started resurfacing left and right. Photos, videos, clips from 2016 through 2019 showing French looking worn out, drained, and the timing always lined up with those wild weekends Puff was celebrating him. Then came Diddy's 2024 arrest, and that's when producers and old associates started spilling tea about what it really took to climb the Bad Boy ladder. One producer even claimed Diddy blackballed him after refusing to join a freak-off, which only fueled suspicions about how French's career moved so fast. So of course, the streets looked back at French's quick rise and said, "Oh, so you stayed, you took that deal, we know what that means." Now, is there a smoking gun receipt with French's name? Not exactly. But the circumstantial tea is bubbling hot. You had Diddy gifting French a whole Ciroc flavor, French vanilla, right after a night they were allegedly together. You had that viral birthday clip where Puff's in a robe, French shirtless, both looking way too comfortable. And you had French himself admitting he wanted the big bag, and Puff was the only one reckless enough to promise it, no matter the cost to get it. To the casual eye, it looked like just another label signing. But to those really watching, it looked like a man willing to pay a personal price to climb higher. And that's why so many believe French is running the exact same playbook in Dubai. Once you show the world you'll trade dignity for opportunity, people assume you'll do it again, only this time with a bigger bag and a far more powerful master. Now here's where the rabbit hole takes a wild turn. Mid-2024, French Montana pops up at Paris Fashion Week, not just flexing a new designer fit, but allegedly flashing a fiancé. And not just any woman. Ciara, a princess directly tied to Dubai's ruling elite. Baby, that ain't no From the Bronx to Love story. That's a power move straight out of a chessboard. And look at the timing. While French was flaunting this royal link-up, the feds were busy tightening the screws on Diddy. Freak-off tapes, trafficking whispers, shady money trails, all of it stacking into a mountain of evidence. And let's be real, anybody who'd been glued to Diddy over the years was suddenly radioactive. Artists, assistants, even casual friends. Everybody was getting dragged into subpoenas and quiet sit-downs. And French, he wasn't just an associate, he was practically Diddy's shadow. The birthday trips, the Ciroc deals, the endless cosigns. If prosecutors wanted to build a bulletproof case, French's name had to be floating around those files. So what's his next move? He doesn't just skip town. He secures himself into the arms of one of the wealthiest dynasties in the Middle East. Reports say the Sheikh's family fortune tops $18 billion. We're talking oil money. Money so deep, $7 billion is pocket change. And when you marry into that, you don't just get luxury, you get protection, you get status, you get residency in a fortress-like country that doesn't let outsiders poke around their business. And the streets are screaming one thing loud: French ain't moving in love, he's moving in survival mode. People can't ignore how fast this engagement popped off. right when the heat in the States was burning hottest. And just like that, French starts spending more time in Dubai than in New York or LA. To fans, it plays like a whirlwind romance out of a fairy tale. But to his critics, it screams escape plan. Only this one's wrapped in Cartier, staged wedding photos, and a whole new identity. And the optics, whew! Every time French posts up with his princess, he's looking sharper, cleaner, almost like a man reborn. But the comments stay savage. "Boy, you just swapped Diddy for Dubai," one fan wrote. Others warned him straight up. "Better hope those sheikhs don't treat you the way Puff did." Because here's the gag. French thinks he's leveled up. But people who know how Middle Eastern royalty wields power say sometimes you don't escape the fire, you just walk into an even bigger, hotter one. Now here's the part French probably doesn't want to hear. Running from Uncle Sam to the UAE doesn't always mean freedom. Sometimes it means you signed up for a new kind of contract. Dubai's reputation might glitter with Lambos, sky-high towers, and pet tigers on yachts. But the whispers, they've been nasty for years. Influencers fly in wide-eyed, chasing that tax-free glam life, then slip back spilling tea about palace parties where outsiders were treated like props. Men and women both, allegedly, because some royals don't see foreigners as equals, they see them as playthings. And that's the dangerous picture people are painting of French's new life. Put his fortune side by side with Sheikh Amara's family's $18 billion empire, and suddenly, French doesn't look like a king. He looks like decoration, ornamental, replaceable. And let's be real, he has zero political power in that arena. Sheikh Amara isn't just rich. She's the daughter of one of the most feared autocrats alive today. Which means French might have traded one dangerous leash for another, only this time, it's made of gold. French might be foreign famous enough to bring glitter to the family name, but he's nowhere near powerful enough to push back if they ever decide he's just another accessory. And that's exactly why folks online are dragging him. To them, this doesn't look like escaping Diddy. It looks like upgrading to new handlers. Instead of freak-offs in Miami, it's private villas in Dubai. Instead of Ciroc bottles, it's royal palaces with guards at the door. And the family French just married into, they've been under the global microscope for years. Remember Sheikh Amara's viral Insta-divorce in 2024? The whole world gasped when she dropped 3 little words, "I divorce you." A royal woman publicly defying tradition like that? Unheard of. Admirable, yes, but also a glimpse into just how messy royal life really is. And the deeper you dig, the darker it gets. Her relatives have lived through their own global scandals. Princess Latifah's failed escape, Princess Shamsa's alleged abduction, all of it allegedly tied back to their father, the absolute ruler of Dubai, who just happens to be French's brand new father-in-law. So suddenly that fairy tale glow-up starts looking cracked, even dangerous. Because when power this heavy moves against you, freedom ain't guaranteed. That's why the internet clowns call this French's $7 billion escape plan. On paper, it's genius. Marry into obscene wealth, lock in residency, shield yourself from the feds. But socially, it's déjà vu. For years, people roasted French as Diddy's favorite boy toy. The shirtless dinners, the birthday serenades, the Ciroc rewards. Now gossip says he just swapped one sugar daddy for a whole dynasty of them. And the irony stings, because hip-hop sold French as the gritty underdog. Moroccan roots, Bronx hustle, Coke Boys pride. But Dubai royalty don't play like bad boy records. You don't outshine them, you don't embarrass them, and you definitely don't outlive your usefulness. If the whispers hold even a drop of truth, French didn't escape a velvet leash, he just snapped on a golden cage. So yeah, he dipped out of the hot water in the States, but in Dubai, whoo baby, he might be sitting right on top of the stove. And here's the real gag in all this chaos. The loudest voice dragging French isn't some blogger, it's 50 Cent himself. Now sit with that for a second. What if 50 ain't just clowning? What if deep down he's really trying to warn him? You know 50's got that big brother energy. Roast you, humiliate you, but still kinda want you to eat at the same table. He's been shading French for years, calling him washed, calling him a Diddy leftover. But maybe, just maybe, he sees the trap French is walking into. A trap that doesn't look like chains, but reeks of those velvet cages people whisper about in Dubai. But let's flip it. What if this isn't even a trap to French? We're out here saying, damn, bro, you sold your soul just for protection. But French might see it different. Some chase freedom, others chase comfort. He might not view himself as a prisoner in a palace. He might see himself as chosen. The Bronx kid who pushed mixtapes and ended up with gold-plated security, royal perks, and $1 billion safety net. We might call it hell, but to him, it might feel like heaven with central AC and a chauffeur on call. That's why 50's jabs sting so bad, because under the roasting, there's truth. 50 built his legacy on independence, owning his name, flipping street power into boardrooms, staying untouchable without a leash. Meanwhile, French might have flipped survival into servitude, but here's the paradox. Who's really winning? The man still hustling to prove his credibility in rap? Or the man sipping tea behind palace walls, scandal-proof, shielded by billions, and living like no prosecutor can ever touch him? To us, he looks like property. To him, he might feel like royalty. And maybe that's the biggest twist of all. 50 Cent can drag him non-stop, but French Montana might just be grinning because in his mind, this was the plan all along. Now let me know what you think. Is French Montana living in luxury or locked in a golden cage? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And I'll see you on the next one.